Welcome to Pound for Pound ATL, arguably the best place to get facts and opinions on your Atlanta Falcons. And absolutely the best place to get your opinions in. The conversation starts now.
What's going on, football fans? It's me, J.R. Clark, back again with another Pound for Pound ATL Live, joined as always by my main man, Toby D. Toby, what's going on, brother?
Hey, player, y'all better rise up, boy. We got us another win at home again.
That's right.
Hey, man, I can't be more excited than that.
Oh, dude, no, heck no, you can't be no more excited than that. It was a good win. It was a solid win. There was a lot to be excited about. There's a lot of things to talk about, which obviously that's what we're going to do tonight. But before we get too much into this, there was a message that you drug up from CP CP84 that we're going to kind of play and remind folks of what he had to say. So y'all check this out real quick.
And everybody just coming, they hungry and we all ready, man. We're really ready for week one. Give the fans a little glimpse of what to expect from this offense. Obviously, you are the Swiss Army knife. Everybody know we saw what you did last year, but you're bringing in a lot of new pieces on receiver. You got some backs that can really get downhill. What can the fans expect from this offense this year?
Honestly, I just hope we get more than 2 wins. You know, everybody predicting us to only win 2 wins this year. So if we get more than 2 wins this year, we'll do what they not expect us to do. How about that?
CP, what did you like?
There it is. Y'all heard it. CP said if we can get more than 2 wins, that we'd be doing what we weren't expected to do. And look at that. We did what we weren't expected to do. And that was secure at least one more than 2 wins. How about that, Toby?
Man, I tell you what, boy. If anybody tell you that the team and the organization is not listening to the outside noise, they lying to you. Even when players tell you they're not paying attention, they paying attention because they definitely use them 2 wins as motivation to get them 3 wins right now that they got. And you heard Rashawn Evans saying, hey, we're not satisfied, but we got more than what people said we were going to get. So, they were listening to that.
Oh, yeah. You knew for a fact that they had those 2 wins as being, like bulletin board material. Like Arthur Smith very much strikes me as a bulletin board material kind of guy. And, all the way back to, like I say, all the way back, like last year when he had the whole Believe, paper on the press conference. So, I think that it was definitely, a win that we can be proud of, as the, thumbnail suggests. It's probably the most complete game they've had so far this season.
Yeah.
From, special teams, Avery Williams looking real good as a returner out there.
Yeah.
Like Troy Anderson tracking down Ray McLeod, showing that 4.2 speed. That big dude, he looked like the Terminator out there on that punt return, tracking him down. Like that was an amazing thing to see. All to obviously the defensive line playing as well as it did. Like coming into this game, San Francisco had they had rushed for 150 yards in the previous game, over 150 yards. And that's arguably Kyle Shanahan's calling card is his ability to run the ball. And you held them to 50 yards rushing all day long. Yeah. And everybody's going to chime in on the whole the fact that they were missing starters, like 8 starters on the defensive side of the ball. They weren't missing any on the other than Trey Lance, obviously. They weren't missing any on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Trent Williams was the only one out.
Right.
For them.
So, and Kyle Shanahan, as we know, I mean, when he was here, obviously we ain't going to get into all that, but we know what he can do on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, to me, there really was no real reason why they shouldn't have been able to win that game. And the fact that 7 minutes into the second quarter, from that point on, they didn't score anymore. Like, period, point blank. Like, you shut them out for an entire half. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
It is. But I tell you what, JR, there ain't a defense out there. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you second, third, fourth string that ever want to get ran on and demoralized like that.
Oh,
It
yeah.
don't matter if it's first stringers at all, second stringers,
That's
third,
right.
fourth. I don't care. No defense wants to get demoralized. And you saw how frustrated that defense got when we was running all down their throat.
We got a $5 from Mr. Woon Carter, which we very much appreciate. He says, "Rise up, pound for pound family. Great win on Sunday. I love the direction this Falcons team is headed in. Very complete game on all three sides of the ball." Yeah, very much so. Very complete game, which again, like we're going to spend time obviously talking about today. Shoot, man, where you want to jump in at? Like, we can go just about a million different directions here.
I'm going to the safeties. I don't know about you, but we talked about what we was hoping these safeties would be in Jalen Hawkins and Richie Grant all in the offseason, man. I'm telling you right now, Richie Grant wants all the smoke. He don't care who you are. He is up for the challenge and tackling you. Hey, you might run him over, but he's still there utilizing his body as a sacrifice to make a tackle. We saw Kittle try to straight run him over. He was like, you know what? I ain't going nowhere.
It's like, you're going to try to run me over, but you're going to have to drag me.
He tried to take Nick Chubb out. Didn't care how physical Nick Chubb was. Got in there, got in the business, and did his thing. And Jalen Hawkins, man, I mean, what more can we say about him? He hangs around that ball, Doc, and he had a great game this game Sunday.
Oh yeah, they have definitely been all that we have wanted to see, from this young safety. Because like last year, you had Deron Harmon and Eric Harris.
Yeah,
and at times, dude, that was hard to watch that safety play. Especially Deron Harmon. Now they brought back Eric Harris as a good veteran presence. One of those great locker room guys. But the play of Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins has stood out dramatically, from interceptions to forced fumbles to like heads up, getting on the the ball in the end zone. As far as Jalen Hawkins was concerned, very rarely have those guys been out of place. Very rarely have they, made a big mistake. Like you said, you had last week Richie Grant coming up and meeting Nick Chubb in the one-on-one in the hole and stopping him. That was impressive as it's been. I mean, like, not just that, then you have like Isaiah Oliver come back off of being injured, and in his first game back, he gets an interception. So like, this defense, as crazy as, or not crazy, but as much as we wanted to pull our hair out the first 2 weeks, has really come into their own, and against some decent teams. The 49ers have been playing well up to this point, even with Garoppolo back in there. You held Tom Brady to 21 points, which might have carried over into their next week against the Steelers. You were able to go toe to toe a lot with the Rams. So the defense has been a very bright spot.
They are playing intelligent football, JR. You look at what Richie Grant did when he came up in that hole and stuffed Nick Chubb. How about they did that again with D. Alford and Mike Ford stuffing that run play to keep that drive? Yes, man. To keep that drive from going and turning it over on downs, man. Play recognition. You're starting to see the defense starting to do that. And it is a wonderful thing to see when that type of intelligence is. That's when your defense starts to rise to the occasion, when you start seeing the intelligence level show up in the defenses.
This caught me. Jarek Butler says AK-47 may not have had a sack numbers, but his fingerprints are all over this game. He's consistently in the backfield causing chaos. Dude, like, AK-47, if this is his rookie season, you know what I'm saying? Like, I am like stoked to see what he looks like next year. Same thing with D'Angelo Malone. When Malone has had his chances, he has flashed quite well. Like, if for some odd reason Lorenzo Carter ends up playing himself out of a bigger contract than we want to give or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be nearly as hesitant about plugging Malone into that position, because I don't know how many times you had Carter playing that third linebacker dropping into coverage, when you can easily see Malone with his frame doing that as well.
Yeah. Speaking of linebacker, I mean, the Falcons were showing unscouted looks on both defense and offense. They had Nathan Landman up here rushing like a pass rusher and almost took Jimmy Garoppolo out, which actually called Jimmy to throw an incomplete pass.
Dude, there was a point in time I was like, I had to remind myself, like, who is number 55?
Right.
I was like, who is, oh, snap, that's Landman, And then you got Blizz 818 says Troy Anderson is him. Like, he is taking, showing a lot of steps going forward as far as like his progression. Like I was kind of worried with having Mykal Walker out. I was concerned that there was going to be some some vulnerability there. Now on one of those, I think it was the first IU touchdown. Troy Anderson was a little bit out of position.
Yeah.
Like he should have been a little bit deeper. At least, okay, I'm going to stop that here. I feel like he should have been a little bit deeper. That was confirmed in my thought by Adam Holloway, our good buddy Dansky. When he did his like all 22 breakdown, he pointed that out as well. So that's, if you wanted to go like see a clip of it, you can go see that on Twitter at Dansky's page.
Yeah.
Got another one right here, my friend. Air horn, Willie Doc says, the NFC South is wide open with our defense, competent offense, and play calling. Tampa Bay looking like a wounded animals. Falcons could win the South. Yeah, like right now we're tied for first place, right? Like right now, we are straight up and down tied for first place. Nick adds in running game and defense wins championships. It's a winning formula. That much is for sure. If you can run the ball, like I put out a tweet out there, it says, if you can run the ball when everybody in the building knows you're going to run it, then you're dangerous. Like straight up and down, like everybody knew that's what we were going to try to do. Was run the ball, and we did it to the tune of over 150 yards with our two backs and Mariota combined. Like when you looked at the individual performances of Caleb Huntley and Tyler Algier, you were like, okay, it's decent. But then when you add in on top the timely runs, which has something that has been missing really since the Saints game.
Yeah.
The timely runs from Mariota. That makes it, man, that's an aspect that I hope they continue to really utilize going forward.
Yeah, since you said that, man, we might ought to go ahead and jump on into it and segue into that ballers and fallers, JR, because you about got it at the right spot there.
Yep. Yeah, let me get this thing queued up just a bit so we can make sure that we're doing this right. Hold on, what happened here? Things are going crazy.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man. While you doing that, and not another skate. Now I don't know what exactly that see because it's cutting it off on my phone, but they were talking about London talking smack was great. And boy, I tell you what, man, have my rookie talking smack as a rookie. That gets my juices flowing, boy. I'm gonna tell you right now, boy. I was get him, London, get him.
Right. When he came up, like running his mouth, I was like, that's that alpha dog mentality that we've been needing.
Yeah.
So transitioning to that ballers and fallers segment. Today's ballers and fallers, we've been giving Marcus a hard time in a sense, like since pretty much week one, right? So it's only fair that with the performance that he put in, that he is our baller for the week. And then our faller, obviously, we'll get into it here in a minute, but it was good old Kyle Shanahan was our faller. So let me get this other dealio up here. Let's see. Bam. And back to it. Okay. So in the game, Marcus Mariota was 13 for 14 for 129 yards. He had 6 rushing attempts for 50 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and 2 passing touchdowns. Like, you can't ask for much more than that.
by far his best game, JR.
Right.
He actually looked better with his zone reads. He was reading that
Yep.
defense well.
Yep.
I don't care how many guys was in or out. What I'm looking at is execution, and he was much better Sunday executing.
Yes. Yeah. Fred Bush just says if Mariota plays this well, will be hard to beat, and I agree. I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing was the last 2 games, he hasn't had a turnover.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's been a huge thing to me. Like, and then, the last couple games, he's been throwing touchdowns. Like, these were the things that we wanted. Like, this is a flat out, like what you're looking at here, these stats, this stat line is an Arthur Smith dream come true.
Yeah.
Like, this is how he wants to play football. You go back, I just out of curiosity, I went and looked, and they're like the full year of Arthur Smith taking over in Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill had like 420 something pass attempts. That same year, Tom Brady had over 600 pass attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it goes to show you, like Smith don't want his guy throwing a ton.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what he wants. He wants him to have like high percentage timely throws.
Yep.
Now, he would probably like a little bit more than 14 attempts. Like, I think the sweet spot would be 20 to 25 in a game. I think would probably be where he would like to live at, right? But still, 13 of 14, 129. What was also the common thread with the Cleveland game? 7 attempts or 7 completions.
Yep,
no
19,
turnovers.
Yeah.
So that's the formula. At least right now, that's the formula with Mariota, with this team is, 30, 40 rushing attempts between all your backs. Because it's going to be hard for me to think that when Damon Williams comes back and Cordell Patterson comes back, that they're going to drop down Caleb Huntley or even Tyler Algier.
I don't know. Yeah, it's possible. They may not.
Because, like, those guys, that fresh legs and bigger body is doing exactly what, Arthur Smith wants to do.
Yeah.
Which is, grind it out. Like, you got, you get your, I think all yards combined, they average 4.2 yards a carry. Once you added in Mariota's carries with it.
Yeah.
But each one of the 2 running backs were at 3.5 yards. Either one was at 3.2 and the other was 3.5.
Yeah.
A carry. That's what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
And they're all pushing forward too. They're not falling back. They are getting yards. They're not allowing you to cause negative yards. And someone was saying that even with what the Falcons are doing, they're not getting enough national publicity. I disagree with that.
They're starting to really get it.
That offensive line is becoming famous right now.
Right. Our good buddies Out of Your Falcon Mind says you can tell his confidence is growing. I think talk about Mariota.
Yeah.
He had to believe in himself again, and you see it over the last few weeks. Appears to be slowing down for him, and man, that's great for us. Look, the whole time, the first few weeks when we were, by y'all standards, killing Mariota, we kept saying like there was time for him to settle in. There was time for him to, make a believer out of me. And if he keeps playing like this, that's exactly what he's going to do is make a believer out of me. And, make it to where, Willie Doc says, hey, Toby, do you think Mariota has turned the corner? Should we expect him to be, should we just expect him to be a game manager?
That's a tough one, but let me start out and say this. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but when the Falcons have only been faced with 5 or fewer 3rd down and 7+ situations, there's a great chance they won that game. And by that stat line, I know one game they would love to have back, and that's the game against New Orleans. But there were so many other factors that played in because they only allowed themselves to be stuck in those situations 4 times out of the 14 times, which means the other 3rd downs were very manageable.
Right.
Now, with that being said, if Marcus and that offense can continue to get more manageable third down situations, yes, I can say Marcus has turned the corner.
Right.
But if they get in a situation where they have more than them 5 or fewer, then we might see a Marcus regressing.
That's
how I'll say it.
Right. That's my biggest concern is if it is squarely put on Marcus's arm.
Yeah.
And his decision making in those type situations, I may be a little concerned.
Yeah.
But if it's a deal where, where Arthur can manage the game versus Mariota managing the game.
Right.
Because that's how you end up getting that moniker game manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not being put in like high pressure situations in a sense.
Right.
So if Arthur can continue to manage the game, then I think we'll have some success.
And that's where I was going at, because now they should have enough data to know what Marcus can do and what he can't to keep him out of inadvantageous situations. And that will depend on Marcus turning the corner if Arthur them have finally figured him out and getting him right, like that game against San Francisco.
Right. Because what you saw against San Francisco, like out of your Falcon mind was saying, was a Marcus that was a far more confident in his reads.
Yeah.
Tongue got tied up there. It's like, anyway, wow. Like I'm over here trying to say 5 things at once. Anyway, sorry. If you like you saw the diamond formation come back out, you saw the zone read stuff really come back out. You saw him making the right decisions in that zone read, picking up big chunks of yardage. Like he was averaging over 10 yards a carry, and or a little less than 10 yards a carry. Sorry, a little less than 10 yards a carry. And as Michael Walker is saying, the style of offense play is helping our defense rest. Notice the boys are getting 3 and outs more consistent. Right. This type of offense is like the games you saw is a clock chewing type offense. And that's what they want. I need to see. I'll pull this up real quick. Hopefully this don't slow everything down. I want to know what the time of possession was. So let me get this pulled up real quick. Because I'm pretty sure it was, 33 minutes, 33:25 to 26:35. We had the ball for 33 minutes. So, like I said, that was the perfect kind of game plan. And it was executed perfectly. And it was the first time that I think that they had executed for 4 quarters. And you saw it. Like the score was indicative of just how it wasn't. We didn't luck into 28-14.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
That was not one of those times where you looked up, at the scoreboard, and when you watched the game, it was like, oh man, that easily could have been the other way. No.
Yeah.
It was we were on it the entire game and stuck with it. And that was exactly what I like to see. Willie Doc says, addition by subtraction by getting rid of Anthony Rush. Well, I mean, yeah. Amir Abdullah is playing way better.
But you keep saying Amir, but you keep getting that running back out of your head. Abdullah Anderson. Jesus. Come on, say it with me. Abdullah Anderson.
I should have messed around and been like, Amir Abdullah. No, I'm just kidding. Abdullah Anderson is like he's the reason why Rush got cut. Straight up. He's playing better, playing more consistent.
Yeah.
So
I mean, 50 yards rushing that you held the San Francisco 49ers offense to, man, that's a beautiful thing, Doc.
Good, it was good stuff. Our good buddy Chris Jameson says, coach enjoying a beer with the O-line after the game was priceless.
Man.
Dude, that's the kind of stuff I want to see. Like, for all those people out there, and sometimes we are one of those people that give Smith a hard time for his, butthole-ish demeanor to the media. Like, doing stuff like that, like, will get you like 1 million points with the team.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's letting you know that he's in there with you, you know, like whatever he wants to, you know, however he wants to deal with the media, that's on him, you know.
Yeah.
But his team is right there with him.
If the way it's setting up, JR, he is teetering on the side of really becoming a good coach known in the media. And the reason why I say that is this. When he said that, when we lost, I think it was like the second game, y'all wrote us off before the season started. You can write us off again. I don't care if we're going back to work. Right. If they mess around and turn this thing around, that press is going to be well remembered going into from here on. That's all right. The way through his career as the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm excited if they can turn this thing around.
Yep. No, I completely agree. Millie has a good point. He says, I know we're kind of jumping around here a bit, but I'm just trying to kind of get back up into the chat that we have missed so far. He says, contain those wide receivers and run it down Cincy's throat. Make them stop us. They're not physical enough to stop 30, 40 runs in a game, especially against 225 plus pound backs. Yeah, that's there was somebody else like who said that. Trying to find it. Let's see. Oh, either way. Anyway, but no, that's the thing. Oh, here it was. It was Chris James says the Bengals just gave up 220 yards rushing last week.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that worries me about that is when you give up, you know, when you do that, you tend not to do that 2 weeks in a row. So if they make an extra concerted effort to stop the run, maybe that will open up something with some quick passing game and the RPO stuff.
JR, every defense so far has tried to make a concerted effort to stop the run,
yet
to a tune of 150 plus yards, except for the Rams game. I think we ran like 90 yards in that game.
It was close to 100. It was close.
Other than that, teams are going to be scared.
Willie Doc tipped us another $2, which we appreciate. He says 6 games in, grades for Smith, Fontenot, and Pease. I don't like this ain't bad right here. Alex said he says B, B plus, and B.
I like that.
Yes, look that up. I think I tend to agree with Alex there. Like they're making lemonade with lemons right at the moment.
Yeah, they are.
And that I'm impressed with. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have made some different coaching decisions, or I don't know what have you, maybe, and maybe pulled out that Saints game at the beginning of the season. I don't know. Feel like you really could have won the Rams game. You know? Yeah. But I think that Smith is really coming into his own as a coach.
Yes.
You know, I think the synchronization, the like getting in rhythm with him and Dave Ragone and Charles London, I think is really starting to show up these last few weeks. Like we were trying to kill Pease and not kill him. That's not right. We were giving him a hard time at the beginning of the season because we were like, dude, come on. You talk about changing culture, but everything looks the same. Well, he showed us, didn't he? You know, these since about the midway through the Rams game, like they really have started to, you know, shut down the run, and they have started to become an opportunistic defense. You know, they are the quintessential bend but don't break, you know, defense. They tighten up like crazy getting into the red zone.
Yeah.
But I can't stress this enough. You held a not too far removed Super Bowl team scoreless for an entire half of football.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about touchdownless. Like you didn't even let him kick a field goal.
Nope.
And that's impressive to me.
Frustrated a whole squad, Doc.
Yeah. That was a pleasing sight to my eyes, who have been wanting to see a defense bow up for a while. And when you have guys on that other that you're facing, guys like, you know, Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, you know, those aren't no-name guys.
Nope.
You know, those are guys that that you have to game plan for.
Mm-hmm.
And your game plan worked perfectly. Let's see. Dave says Coach Smith is a sore loser, and he loves and he loves it. He's definitely when the team lose, you can definitely tell that it's a it's a problem.
Yeah.
For Coach Smith. Let's see. Millie says, JR, if they load up to stop the run, then it'll be a big day for Mariota passing. It's pick your poison, bro. I'll say this, to this point in the season, Mariota hasn't frightened anybody with his arm. Now, this could be the game where he adds that, to his repertoire. But I don't think has he even thrown for over 200 yards yet?
The first game, I think he did against New Orleans. He had like 33 attempts in that game, too. That was the highest amount of attempts he had. After that, it went down. But I'm going to tell y'all this again. Are y'all still not a believer of this run game? The Falcons don't care if you put 7 or 8 in the box. They are still going to run it on you. I don't know if y'all remember Adrian Peterson. The year he came back after that injury he had, looked like he probably wasn't going to play in the NFL again. They were stacking 8 and 9 in the box. When you got a great running game package such as the Falcons have, and Todd Boyles even alluded to it, that we was getting ready to play them. The Falcons can run the ball in many different run styles on anybody at any time. So they make you have to prepare for many different run styles when you are game planning during the week. That's taxing on the defense. The passing game is doing exactly what it needs to do. Like you just said earlier, high percentage throws, and we saw that in full effect on Sunday with 14 attempts. You didn't throw your first incompletion until 10 minutes and 52 seconds in the fourth quarter.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you're running out of, like, we did a video, didn't get a ton of traction, but y'all should definitely go check it out. We did a video like really highlighting some of their like money plays. And one of them was that pistol power formation that they've been using to great effect with both Keith Smith and Parker Hesse. Like, had you told me in the offseason that Parker Hesse was going to be as much of a factor as he's been, and you're like, oh, JR, he ain't caught nothing, he ain't done. Look, it don't matter. Parker Hesse is the one doing the dirty work. Yeah. He's the one that's popping these runs. He's the one that's causing, defenses to, pay attention going one way or the other. Like, I remember, like, even myself, like the first game or two, I was like, look, if you don't start throwing to this motion, man, then it's going to lose its effect. I was completely wrong. I was absolutely 100% completely wrong. I didn't realize at the time what they were doing with that motion man.
Yeah.
That motion man was, in all sense of purposes, he's your puller. He's your lead blocker.
Yeah.
And so therefore, when he moves, whether he's getting the ball or not, everybody's still following it.
Yep.
And so then you start running counters off of that. Boy, it is like, it is been a beautiful thing to see that pistol power just absolutely wearing folks out. And like you said, doing it from different platforms, so to speak, or different formations. He's pulling out I formations, diamond formations, the power formations. Like this, it's been a clinic. Like if you want like run game tape clinic, go watch these first 6 weeks.
JR, they was pulling stuff out they ain't even show all season. And that's what I can't describe it right now, but they was pulling out stuff look like Wayne T, and they ended up getting a first down when they gave it to Keith Smith on that type of backfield formational look. They was doing all kinds of stuff, JR, that I didn't even see them do all season. But one thing I remember Mike Smith saying, the first 4 to 6 weeks, teams still show unscouted looks, and that's exactly what the Falcons did on Sunday. They were messing them up, man.
Oh yeah, no doubt, completely. Let's see. Hold on, let's see. Okay, yeah. Says he says 90s tribute band. He says Bebe's tribute band says you just don't about Marcus. This team ain't about passing, it's about running. You guys are not a Matt Ryan team. Those coaches know Marcus will burn them from his time in Tennessee. Now I agree there. They don't want him passing. This is definitely a run first team, like complete. I agree 100% about that. When he ends up like stop crying about passing and watch what about to happen. When I make the statement about that, like there's gonna come a time, some point in time this season, where you're gonna run up on a team that's going to stop the run. And whether it's selling out to stop it, and I hope in that point in time, like Mariota is comfortable enough to make them pay for it. That's what the Kyle Pitts touchdown was a perfect example of that. He had been gashing them with his legs, gashing them with the run play. Everybody sells to the right of the formation. And, they were talking about, it was his progressions. If you go back and watch it, there's a little quick, like Mariota gives Pitts like a quick peek. Then he goes back to looking to the other side of the field because he knows that he needs to give him a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And he's rolling with the entire formation. And about time he, obviously thinks he's got it, he turns back around and fires that ball into Pitts for that touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Those
are the kind of things when you start getting everybody moving like that. Those are the kind of things that will open. Now, the kind of frustrating part, I don't think he had time to do anything, so I'm not going to really criticize him about that. It was on one of the runs where he squirted up in the middle. Like, if you go and watch DJ Shockley's breakdown, it's that play that he's breaking down there. Kyle Pitts is standing wide open with his hands up. Like, I don't think that he had enough time. So, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and lambaste him for it because I don't think he had time to pull it off. But if he could have, holy Pete, you know what I'm saying? Those are the kind of things that, like, as we continue to roll through, as they continue to, gain comfort, in the system, like that's something that they may go back to, and he can look to pot like a little pop pass like Tebow used to do in Florida.
He'll get them opportunities again, man, and that's what I know now with the offense. We know what the offense is, other than the unscouted looks they showed on Sunday that they didn't show before. But we know what this offense is. They know what this offense is, and he'll get those opportunities again to make those plays that he possibly missed within the schemes that we're running. So I'm not really concerned too much about that because I know that's going to come up again where he's going to get those situations again where he'll see it.
Oh, yeah.
At least I'm hoping.
Right. Mark Giddy over here says, I seen the Eagles running our offense on Sunday night on Dallas. Yeah, I mean, it's a copycat league, dude.
Yeah.
And if you having success with something, people are going to try to do it.
Sure is.
Of course they are, especially with the type of quarterback that they have over there. Same type of mobile, runs well, works well off that zone read stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like, I know for a long time, NFL coaches have talked better about Arthur Smith than the media and the fan base has.
Yeah.
And that's something I pay attention to. When coaches are like unprovoked, giving you like other coaches praise, that says a lot to me. Right?
Yeah.
And Arthur Smith's name comes up quite a bit with like innovative coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're starting to get results on it. So I think we're going to be more amenable to give that type of praise to him. But it's been there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Chris Jameson brings up a point. He says, I never thought I'd say this, but re-sign McGarry. I'll say this. McGarry was still getting beat quite a bit, especially on Sunday. Like they gave a few of those sacks. Now, I'll say this. With Mariota being able to move, you're obviously going to have a moving quarterback. This style of offense suits McGarry a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because he's not asked to just hold the point of attack. Because when he is, he's still getting beat like a drum.
Yeah. It's because when they get in these 3rd and 7+ situations, this is what I was saying. That's where you're seeing most of the sacks come from because this offensive line is not set up that way. That's why they have to stay in as many manageable third down situations as possible.
Right.
If you can get out of those third down situations as much as possible, it's even greater. But you can't always rely on doing that. But you need to be able to at least have more manageable third downs and situations where they had more of that than the third down and 7+ situations they had on Sunday.
Right. Like TD says, pass protection hasn't been good this year. Not when it's been in a traditional sense.
Right.
When it's been a traditional, drop back, I have to throw the ball, 10, 15 yards downfield, not rolling the pocket, anything like the rolling the pocket, getting Mariota on the move, that kind of stuff. When they're pinning their ears back and going forward, when the O-line is able to dig in and go forward, they've been really nice. Pass protection hasn't been all that great. I agree there. Josh Gillum says Taquan Graham has changed our entire defense. I don't know if I would call it like changed our entire defense, but I have said now for about the past 2 or 3 games, Grady Jarrett has found his running mate.
Yeah.
Like Taquan Graham is a very disruptive force. He is a big, strong individual who has a propensity to get into the backfield and blow up plays. So I am really enjoying, what Taquan Graham has brought, and I hope he continues to step up.
Did he come back into the game? Because I know he went out hurt at one point in that game. I don't remember if he came back or not.
I don't remember. I know that AJ Terrell went out and didn't come back in.
Yeah.
But he
Isaiah
said
Oliver went out in the end and didn't come back in.
But I think that was like those were more precautionary than anything else. I don't remember anybody talking about Graham, so he must have come back in.
Maybe so.
Speaking of like injury wise, Wallace Smith says, I'm glad to hear that Hayward's injury is not season ending, but they did put him on IR. So that now that IR is a short-term thing, it's not as big of a deal, so to speak. But that was the only injury that they said that they were concerned about was Casey Hayward. Yeah. But I'll say this, Darren Hall came in and played well in his absence.
Cindy and David both said Graham did come back in. I just was so caught up in the emotion of the game, I didn't realize he came back in or not, but I'm glad he did too. Thank God he did come back in that game because we need him. We need him, boy.
Matty Go says Graham has no sacks, though. I agree, but Josh follows it up. Matty Go says he's not there to get sacks. And I agree there in that statement. If he gets some sacks, then that's a plus. What he's in there to do is clog up that middle and get into the backfield and disrupt plays, which he has done quite well. I think Graham is doing what you need him to do, which is free up Grady Jarrett to not have to be the run stuffing nose tackle.
And look, man, guys, this is about Grady. Okay, let's just be straight up honest. Grady is the superstar of this defensive line, and Dean P this year is making sure that he is showcasing them in that way. These guys are here to help their superstar wreck shop. Okay,
and he's been doing just that,
wrecking it up.
Exactly, and he's been doing just that. Let's see, anybody else? All right, let's see. Okay, I think we've caught up with chat for a minute. So, oh man, there was something I was going to transition into, which was talking about. Let's see. we'll throw this one up there. This is a good comment. Oh, well, where'd it go? Okay. It said John H says Koo must have enjoyed a rare game that didn't require him to stay warm in the fourth quarter. I think that was the first time in a while. That we have beat. First time in a while we beat somebody by double-digit points.
Yeah. and didn't give up the lead
since like the 43-6 drubbing against the Raiders.
Yeah,
that was the first time. Let's see where did I just saw that? Let's see, where did it go? Yeah, Josh Gillum says Ebiketie has been special so far.
Yes, he
I
has.
agree.
Yes, he has.
I completely agree. Somebody was saying something about AJ. Okay. Holloway says, is AJ going to be out for a while or no? It didn't sound like it.
No.
It did not sound like he was going to be out for a while. It actually sounded like if he really had to, he could have went back in.
Yeah.
Sounded like they were being more precautionary than anything else.
I mean, you're about double-digit scores right now. Your defense is still playing well with guys coming in. Yep. Ain't no need to bring them back.
Exactly. Wallace Smith adds Hall and Alford came in and played good when Terrell and Hayward went out. Right.
Yes.
I don't think I think you have a far better situation in your secondary this year than you did last year. You don't have guys like TJ Green coming off the bench. You got, D. Alford, who was arguably one of the best corners in the CFL. You got him coming off the bench. You got Darren Hall, second year in the system. Yeah. You got him coming off the bench. Now, if you really had to, you could move Isaiah Oliver over because you got guys like Mike Ford, who have been playing that Oliver spot. So if you really had to, now granted, we'd much rather have Oliver, in his like star role in that apex role, that's where he's been thriving.
Yeah. And I think you will be able to leave him there. Now, he is a guy I'm keeping an eye on, but it looked like he went out precautionary too as well. It was in the last few minutes of the game, I believe, in the fourth quarter. But I think he'll be all right because that's the guy I'm really, really concerned about to make sure he's healthy because he gives you that flexibility with Darren Hall and D. Alford and Mike Ford to be able to move around a little bit. Yep. Keep it going.
Our good buddy Josh Mulvaney says, "What's up, Pound for Pound family? What's going on, brother?
What up?"
Let's see. Adams adds, or Antonio adds, it might not show on a stat sheet, but our punter has been awesome for us for field position. Why do you think they snapped up Bradley Pinion as quick as they did? They knew what they were dealing with, and they were going to ride with it. But, when they snapped up, Bradley Pinion, they were like, "Yep, nope, punting competition done."
Done.
Done.
This is a man that's going to pin you inside the 10 more times than not.
Yep. Let's see. Mo Headline says, "Rise up, PvP family. Great team win." Side note: am I the only one that thinks Huntley may need to get more carries than my guy Algier? I think the split with them is really good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They both there are times that it looks like Huntley gets shot out of a cannon a little bit more. But I don't know if I would say that his vision is better, but he also seems to be getting a little bit more of the outside runs.
Yeah.
As to where Algier is getting more of the inside runs.
The inside, yeah.
So, Algier is being asked to hammer and rail and wear down that line. And it could be just
it out,
right. And it could be just a deal where they trust Algier's ball security better. And they like his physical makeup. And they could feel like Huntley has got just a little bit more burst than Algier. Because Algier is not like a super fast back. So
no, he's not. But either way, it's working perfectly with the right mixture that they're using in certain situations. It's working well.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Okay, say I don't know what you're asking there, so I'm gonna. Oh Lord, I can't. It's the only thing this is what I was afraid of. I got some interesting things popping up, and I can't from this app that we use, this platform. I can't get rid of them. So y'all are just gonna have to ignore that in the chat. I'll get rid of them later. Let's see. Mo Headlines agrees that Huntley is getting more outside runs.
Yeah.
So at least that's the way it looks to me. Might be a little soon on this one, but G Code says Arthur Smith is the best coach we've ever had. Might be a little soon on that one. Mike Smith was a pretty good coach. Everybody wants to kind of forget about that, but Mike Smith had us going right there for a while.
He did, man. He did.
Let's see.
But I tell you what, Arthur Smith is starting to show he's a little bit more comfortable, and his situational awareness has gotten much better these last 3 games that they played. And especially this one, I love when he called that timeout before the half, man, to settle the group down, and they called a much better play to get that pick that Isaiah Oliver got. Right. They knew it was going to Deebo Samuel, and they had 3 guys dropping 9 in coverage and had 3 guys on them.
Yep. Wallace Smith says Terrell said that he had a thigh bruise and could have came back in, but they held him out, and he should be ready to go against the Bengals. That's what I thank you for that, because that's what I thought it was something along those lines.
Dexter Bloss, you're right. Dan Reeves wasn't bad either. You're right.
That's right. Yeah. Dan Reeves, he went bad. I think you have recency bias, like it's a what have you done for me lately kind of deal.
Yeah.
I'm willing to say that he's been a much funner coach than Dan Quinn as far as like, the offense. I like what the offense is doing.
Yeah.
And I like so
I love it, JR. I'm just gonna be honest, man. We're gonna run it. Yep. Everybody know it, we're gonna run it. All over the world know we're gonna run it. Marcus is not going to throw the ball that much. Everybody knows Marcus ain't going to throw the ball that much. Yet we still doing that stuff, and you got to figure out how to stop it.
Yep, you got to figure out where it's coming from and how to stop it. False Start got my back. He said, "Don't worry, Grim. I got him out of here." Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Because like I said, this new platform we're using, it has a lot of pluses, but I'm not actually on the YouTube platform anymore, so I wasn't able to get there. I may have to look at doing some moderators or something. But anyway.
Greater Tone wants us to realize how well OZ is playing. I got, they put that in there twice. So yeah, OZ is balling, y'all.
OZ has been money. Straight up and down, OZ has been money. He has been that spark plug that you needed time and time again. Let's see. Slim Pickett says offense is firing, all the motions, the line showing out. Yeah, all that stuff is working in concert very well. Very well. Let's see. Rodney H says Algier is fast. He is indecisive. His indecisive slows him down. Well, maybe he'll get that. Yeah. Yep. Maybe he'll get to where his he's still a rookie. Yeah. This is only his 5th game. Because he was inactive for the first game.
Yeah.
So he's still in that aspect, Caleb Huntley's got a year on him. So Wallace says this is the type of offense we've been waiting for us to be able to run the ball. That's what I'm saying. When you can run the ball and when everybody in their mama knows that you're fixing to run it.
I'm telling you.
And you can still run it. Yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah. Let's see. John H says, it's personnel that makes us look different. An athlete at QB is almost required these days. Yes. I will say this. I'll at least spend the whole season saying this. I knew it was the truth, but I didn't necessarily want to admit it because of that guy right there. I didn't necessarily want to go ahead and admit it, but I knew once we got a guy who wasn't a statue back there, because you were seeing that's where the league is going. Once you get guys like Ryan retires, Brady retires, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Even Daniel Jones up in New York can pick him up and put him down, better than a lot of people give him credit for. Yeah. So that's where the game is going, and you've seen the effects clearly. Yeah. The fact that the O-line is playing as well as it is because the quarterback can move, and you have to worry about that as a defense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Curtis Roberts says, for the first time in a while, I feel like we're having a coaching advantage on the sideline. Starting to feel that way. Shane says, only problem I see is having right now is getting sacks. Everything else is fine. Yeah, we may not be getting them in like a ton of bunches, but we've ended a few games with some sacks, so we've really gotten them when we needed them.
Yeah.
So there's that. Let's see. Mark says, another Sunday with Brian Edwards on a milk carton. Yeah, I need to go look at snap counts. I wonder if he even got on the field yet. But
man.
In this offense, what targets does he really have? Honestly, I'm being honest. Like, you have Kyle Pitts, you have Drake London, and you have Olamide Zaccheaus.
Yep.
In a game where you threw the ball 14 times.
Yeah.
What targets does he really have? So, yeah, I don't think I don't think you're going to see much out of him.
That just ain't much.
No. Millie Mills says, JR, you think we could use another big body wide receiver? Because Edwards is trash. Plus, another big body makes it harder to defend. Look, if I'd have to go back and really watch the game, look at his snaps, but if he's in there blocking, then he's doing what you need him to do.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't pretty in a way that we like to see it with, Mahomes lighting up the scoreboard. And even this past week, Father Time, Ryan back there lighting up the scoreboard. Like, we ain't that offense. What's that saying? This ain't that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't that. Like, we're 14 to 20 times a game. Right now, who I want to see get those balls are Kyle Pitts and Drake London.
That's who gonna get them.
That up. Like, if you go ask Kyle Pitts to fully block down a defensive end so that you can run the ball, and he does it like that,
yeah,
then yeah, that's who I want getting the ball when we do decide to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I ain't necessarily worried about getting Brian Pitts the ball. Or not Brian Pitts.
Yeah.
God,
don't worry about it. It's kind of like Mr. Forgettable. And you didn't lose anything really to get
a fifth rounder? Yeah, no, I ain't worried about that.
He just don't fit. He just don't have anywhere to fit in right now. It's not enough balls to go around to him.
Right. And at this point, like, I think I agree with Ghost. He says Edwards is a depth piece just in case there's an injury.
Yeah.
Like, right now, sure. If he's out there, getting blocks and can be a depth piece, maybe towards the middle of the year, maybe he starts to pick it up some.
Yeah.
Where, if we do end up having games where we got to throw more, then so be it. What I'm real curious is, you finally got Kyle Pitts a touchdown on U.S. soil in your home stadium with Marcus Mariota. Does that then, like, finally unlock something?
Maybe it does.
Because I know that we're not going to bring up MR too much, but his rookie tight end up there has already caught like 3 or 4 touchdowns. So I kind of need to get Kyle Pitts a little more involved, or not involved, but what I'm saying. Like, I'm really hoping that touchdown, like, open up Mariota's eyes in a sense of, hey, when I do throw it, I need to be looking for this.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a perfect defense for us to see if Mariota's eyes are open, because Cincinnati don't do well against tight ends, buddy.
No.
And Pitts might have himself a day in this game coming up.
Like, if you watch and Greater Tone says was happy when Mariota told him his time to get a touchdown is coming. Like, if you watch that, the mic'd up with Mariota, like, as Out of Your Falcon Mind pointed out earlier, he's really starting to gain that confidence.
Yeah.
And for him to be able to walk up to Pitts and be like, dude, like, it's cool, dude, it's coming. Like, you knew that, like, in that sense, like, he could see what they were trying to set up.
Yeah. And I hadn't had a chance to watch it yet all day, but I'm going to watch it after I get off here. I'll tell you that.
Yep. Yeah, no, that was a good one. You should watch it. That'll like I made the joke on Twitter. Oh man, they're really trying to make me like this guy, and it was a joke because I already like Mariota. Like I like Mariota as a person. I think he's a great person. And if he keeps playing like this, then I'll have no problem with him being, my quarterback at least for the rest of this year, and maybe even some of next year.
Yeah.
But like seeing the way he was, conversing with the guys, the O-line and all that jazz, like you can definitely see why you're getting these reports that he's got that leadership that the coaching staff likes.
He's getting confident in the schemes now, and that's what you're seeing. And you saw that shine through on Sunday. Yeah, they were missing a lot of guys on the defensive side of the ball, but I don't think that was going to change their game plan at all and what he was seeing. It might have made it a little bit more difficult, but regardless of the matter, dude was executing at a much better, comfortable, confident spot than he's been executing all year long, in my opinion.
Yep, no, I completely agree. Like you saw a level of confidence on Sunday that we ain't seen from Mariota yet.
Yeah.
Like I was actually wondering if his, like in a way, I think something changed in that Browns game. When Arthur Smith, like you hear that line, when Arthur Smith, told the line that they were fixing to basically run the piss out of the ball.
Yeah.
Like something in a mindset changed. And even in Mariota, like going forward, it's been a different looking team. Wallace says, I think the defense is getting much more comfortable and confidence and getting better every week. I think the team itself is growing in confidence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And not just, in like the defensive side of the ball or Mariota. I think as a unit, they're gaining confidence in seeing the formula work.
Yep. And they feel like they can go out there and beat anybody, especially now. Hey, I know a lot of people we don't like to feed into what we're hearing about. This now is the easiest schedule for the Atlanta Falcons through these next 11 games. But JR look like things might be lining up where they're going to be able to do some things. Because now at this point, there's nothing out there you haven't seen.
No. No. There definitely is there definitely isn't anything that should be a surprise to them. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. 90s Ballin says, no, don't start liking him now. Talking about Mariota. Y'all keep this same energy. The energy that I had is still there. Straight up and down. Flat out. Like, look, I'm trying to give the man, like, you give the props where props are due. He had a good game, and I'm trying to, give him that. But still, at the end of the day, and I'm going to throw this back up there just so we can all remember. At the end of the day, 129 yards passing with 50 yards rushing, that's still less than 200 yards of offense. Okay? Coming from your quarterback, right? Like let's not be crazy here. It was a great game plan, and it worked out real well. But it still doesn't fill me with a ton of confidence that you got less than 200 yards of offense out of your quarterback. Now, I agree with you. 3 touchdowns and a win. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. But the bigger story is the defense holding San Francisco to no score, for an entire half. That's something that we ain't seen a Falcons team do, and I can't remember. Shut somebody out in the second half of a game. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. So I'll give credit where credit's due. And right now, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, right now, credit is due to Marcus Mariota for 3 touchdowns and performing a perfectly well executed game plan. I'll give him full on credit. What you got?
Keep him playing like that, and you will be fine. And I think there's enough data now for you to help him to play that way, calling a game that really works for him from this point forward. Because like I said, it's nothing now that he and that offense have not seen. You're not going to see too many more different looks than you've already seen the first 6 games. So I'm expecting this whole offense to be on the same page and see everything the same and make some hay, especially running that football, dog. I feel like we can take that running that football into any stadium, anywhere, any weather condition, and run it against anybody and demoralize any defense we want. I'm sorry. I'm believing in that running game.
No, straight up. Like run game will travel.
Yeah.
Like somebody see, I'm trying to find it up here. Millie Mills says, big question, Toby and JR, is are we a playoff team? I'll tell you this, with this run game, like you have to be able to run the ball in January.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yep.
And so if we make it to the playoffs, I don't think we'll be an easy out. How about that?
Yeah.
If they keep playing the way they've been playing, they're not going to be an easy out at all.
Yeah.
So, in that aspect, let's keep that going. Somebody says, Fire Lab Studio says, bro, the numbers don't match his performance in that game. A lot of that is game plan. He made the throws he needed. He needed to. With the running game, those numbers will win the game. 100% agree. Like I said, it was a very well executed game plan. And that, in a way, it kind of reminds me of, and I'll put this comment up there. John says, the difference Sunday was Mariota didn't turn the ball over or lose sight of the snap. He managed the game. He didn't take it over. Y'all remember years ago, this is almost like the old Alabama model. When they had like A.J. McCarron and Greg McElroy and all those guys. Those guys didn't dominate, right? You had an offensive line, you had a defense, and you had a run game. And that got you a lot of championships for Alabama.
Yeah.
It hasn't been just here since recently that Alabama has went to what you would call like a more modern college style of like having a dynamic quarterback and stuff like that. Okay. So like for me, dude, stuff like that was perfect. This kind of game plan was perfect for the roster that we have.
Yeah.
So we'll just see if they can keep it going.
Well, I'm gonna believe in that run game until they can't run the football no more. And right now, I'm looking at these teams, JR, that we got to face in these next 11 games. I think we're gonna be able to run the ball on all of them jokers.
Oh yeah,
I really do.
Yep. Yeah, I told you. We're gonna see if Cincinnati wants to bow up because they're gonna have to
stack it.
Yep. Let's see. Joshua says, I ain't gonna lie, it made it that much more sweeter that it was Kyle Shanahan's offense that we shut down. Didn't it though?
And that's why he's the faller.
That's right. That's exactly why he's the faller. You're right about that, Toby. Because like somebody asked him if it was bittersweet coming into Atlanta, and he was like, no. Like his head is this daggone big.
Yeah, it is.
It is completely swollen.
Is.
I did not want to see Shanahan come in here and win.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were able to completely like thwart his efforts, that much the sweeter.
Frustrated him and his whole team. Oh, that was so great. I'm sorry. That was so gratifying. I'm sorry.
It was.
I'm Christian. I'm probably not supposed to be feeling that way, but boy, that felt so good, JR, to watch him just sit there, just demoralized, bro.
Hey, look.
Oh,
God struck down his enemies too. You ever met a Hittite? I ain't never met a Hittite. You ever shook hands with a Jebusite? Because I ain't. Okay. Like, look. You read a lot of Psalms, and it's David talking about, hey, smite my enemy for me. All right?
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. I mean, Jesus flipped tables, Like he called the Pharisees a brood of vipers. So, We can like be glad that Shanahan did win. That's all I'm trying to say.
Oh my goodness, boy.
Oh, let's see. We'll get y'all some theology up in here in a minute. PD says all these teams we're facing have weak run defenses. Hopefully we can exploit it. That's what we are trying to do. Shane Wright says, that's Shane Wingett. Do you guys think that Ndamukong Suh would be a good pickup? I don't know. Like this deep into the season?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like somebody was floating out there, not in chat, but somebody was floating out there like Odell Beckham. Like, would you want an Odell Beckham in this offense? I don't think that would do you any good.
I don't
myself
right now, yeah.
Let's see.
We
John
run
H.
the ball so much, I don't even think Odell Beckham would
he'd be madder than he was in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
The entire city of San Francisco was downtown Saturday and Sunday. Niners counted us as a bye. Yeah, like you heard it on the broadcast when the one time Kyle Juszczyk got the ball. You heard the entire stadium, So, it was good to put a win on them like that.
Oh boy.
Let's see. Oh, analysts and YouTubers need to put away the idea of playing Ritter. If we win big against Cincinnati, if MM1 has a big performance, I don't want to hear any more nonsense about benching him. I've been saying for a week or two now, even like the first few weeks, I was like, if this is the performance we're going to get, I'd rather see Ritter. That's how I always phrased it. Now the performances are starting to get better. And now the last week or two, you've heard me say, I don't think you're going to get Ritter at all this season. Unless Mariota just completely goes off the rails, I don't think you're going to get Ritter at all this season. You agree or disagree, Toby?
Look, man, like Mariota said, this 6th game was very monumental to him because this is when he got benched. He made sure that after that performance with the Browns, that Ritter wasn't gonna get no chance of a repeat with him getting benched this time around.
Right.
So he's now redeemed himself to continue moving on throughout the season, unlike the 2019 season when he got benched around the 6th game of the season. So right now, I'm not worried about Ritter. You keep doing what you're doing, you'll stave off Ritter and you'll be fine.
Right. Look, as I said before the beginning of the season, and for this week it holds true. The best case scenario is that Mariota comes in here and locks his job down for the next year or two.
And player, if he does it more than that, that would be even better case scenario.
Right.
But now all I want to see is Arthur Smith them continue to get him playing. Now you know what it looks like with him playing at a high level. Now you continue dialing up plans and working with him to dial up plans that work for him to help him keep being successful, so that he can redeem his career.
That's right. That's right. Even like I said, even during the first parts where, we were dogging him.
Yeah.
I kept saying that like he still got the opportunity to turn it around.
Yeah.
And if he can continue to make progress on, and play at the level that he's playing, like with the efficiency that he's playing at. The timely runs, the timely RPOs, keeping us ahead of the chains, keeping us out of 3rd and longs, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Whether you want to label it a game manager or not, like if he can keep playing at this, especially in what about another 2 weeks, maybe?
Yeah.
You got a real chance of getting CP84 back.
Yep.
And Damon Williams should be getting close to being back too as well.
Yep.
So who knows what this run game.
Them RPOs look much better, JR. They looked a lot smoother. And they was running different backfield formations that they hadn't showed when they was running them RPOs too.
Running it out of that diamond.
Yeah.
When we did that diamond video, what did we say? I can't wait to see them run them RPOs out of that diamond. And they were doing it. So, yeah, I think long as they keep playing like this, they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah.
Straight up. They are absolutely going to be a tough out they're going to be in contention and, possibly, vying for, like right now you're tied for the NFC South, and the rest of the NFC, the less Brady can flip a switch with his geriatric crew down there. Because so far, how many games has Jones played for them?
1. Yeah.
1 or 2?
And I'm going to tell you, man, let me tell you something, boy. Tides might be turning, JR. I'm starting to get excited. Look. Do you realize that this is the second time while the Falcons have won at home, they are the only team in the division that have won in their division for that week.
Yep.
After playing at home and winning.
Yep.
Look. And being up for first place again for the second time.
If they can win in Cincinnati, that will put them over 500 for the first time in a while, and it also be the first time in a while that being at 500 they haven't lost.
Right.
So I'm really hoping that they can grind Cincinnati into the ground.
Come on, Falcons.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm really hoping for.
Yeah.
I think it's that time of the show, my friend, where we've got to put up the ticker. Yeah. We didn't talk to you folks for daggum near an hour and 20 minutes. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, as always, y'all can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128. Toby
D1991.
Keep your eye on the channel, as we always got, fun things going on. Sometimes it's a surprise video that I put up at 10 o'clock at night trying to figure out something. Or, sometimes it's a real good look at the D-line that, that Toby puts out. So, you never know when we're going to throw something out there. Yep. But we're always here on Tuesdays doing a live show. And, keep your eyes popped up on them other Falcons content creator pages, because we might just pop up other places. You never know what's going to happen.
Never know.
We're going to try to have a good show for y'all. That's not going to be out on Friday. It's probably going to be out on Saturday. Try to have a good show for y'all with Cody Alexander. We're going to try to get him on and get a real good look at the Falcons defense and what they've been doing on that side of the ball and seeing how they've made some progress there. So keep an eye on the show. And as always, Falcons fans, rise up.
Rise up.